What is up, my friends? My name's iirix, and today is Thursday, October 27, and it is the fourth legendary 4-color to come out of Commander 2016 that I'm super excited for. One of the things that I struggled with on this one, though, was this one didn't inspire me like the last three did, and tomorrow's I'm super excited about. That one's awesome. I love it, but this one didn't really, it didn't give me any ideas. The only thing I could think of with it is a group hug kind of thing, because it gives all players at the end of your turn, they draw a card, and then a chance to put, well, no, my mistake. Yeah, I draw the card. The player controlling this one draws a card. Then the other players may put a land in play. If they don't, they get a card. But that's still helping everybody, and that's one of those things that I looked at and I thought, how do you make that? What is something that uses that other than group hug? And so I started to look at it, and I went to go try to figure something out. I sent a couple texts to my friends. I'm like, guys, I got nothing on this one. What do you guys think? One of my friends was like, yeah, you just do this and try to do a lot of land stuff, landfall triggers and such. I'm like, that's something, I guess, yeah, because he does let you put an extra land into play if you have it. Okay, sure, I guess. My other friend told me, try a blink deck, because blink is white, blue, and then black, red, and green are just sort of kind of there for any of them. So like Rune, green kind of works out. Sharoom, black kind of works out. But he said, yeah, just try that. And I'm like, okay. So I tried the blink deck. That one seemed to be more fun to me. Yeah, I didn't keep that. So this is a landfall deck. Let me look at the card before I explain my reason for the choice between those two decks. It is Kynaios, whatever, and Tiro. Hey, Tiro. Okay, yeah. Is a human soldier, costs white, blue, red, green. So it's the not black one. It's a 2/8 human soldier. It's kind of bland, but whatever. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card. Each player may put a land from their hand into play, then each opponent who didn't draws a card. The first thing that popped out to me on this one is you get to draw a card, and then everybody may put a land into play. So if you drew a land, great. If you already had one, okay, that works too. If the opponent didn't have one and then they didn't play one, they draw a card and it's a land, it kind of feels wasted to them. That's one of the first things that popped out to me, because it's not everybody can put a land down, everybody who didn't draws a card. You get a card, so you get that advantage. It's something I like a lot. But how is that significant? What does that do for us? How does that help us? So I chose a blink deck because this helps you draw a card and you can play a land. So it kind of helps make it go a little quicker. So I put in some card draw. I put in some cards that let you play multiple lands a turn. And I gave it some test plays, and I hated it. The one thing that was consistent, though, multiple land drops, it was powerful. So it's a landfall deck. I'm going to flip through the deck, I'll show you, and then I'll point out the key cards for the landfall. And I think some of you might be surprised at what I feel is the most valuable part of this landfall deck. So looking at this, we know you get extra draws and extra land play, extra chance to play lands per turn. So we have Angel Finality. I like this card a lot. Kind of a card I think that I need to buy a bunch of and put it in every single deck, because it's 4 for 3/4 flying. That's fine. When it comes into play, exile all cards from target player's library. That's great, because there's a lot of graveyard-based decks going on. Admonition Angel, 6 mana for 6/6 flying is pretty good. Landfall is whenever a land comes into play under your control. Doesn't matter how. You may exile target non-land permanent other than Admonition Angel. When Admonition Angel leaves play, return all the cards exiled with the angel to their owner's control. Sunblast Angel comes into play, destroy all tapped creatures. Sun Titan, you can kind of see where I kept some blink cards in. Well, that one's landfall, but you can see where I kept some of the blink cards in here because I didn't need to take them out, and they're still good. The whole point of blink cards is to take Enter's play abilities and make them go off over and over and over again and take advantage of that. They're still good on their own, so I left a lot of these alone. So if you want to copy this deck and actually put blink components back into it, go for it. You know, it's something that can be done. You know, I kind of recommend it because I'm not 100% on saying it didn't work and it wasn't fun. You know, it's just it wasn't the one for me. And let me show you guys what I had as far as blink pieces. I had Elvish Visionary for card draw, not really part of it. Conjurer's Closet, you blink something at the beginning of your end step. That's not part of it. Crystal Shard, you can bounce the opponent's stuff or your stuff, unless they pay 1. They'll probably try to pay to 1. If you target your stuff, you're obviously doing it to not pay to 1. Rune, Flicker stuff as well. Erratic Portal and Equilibrium, they're kind of the same thing. 1 tap, return target creatures on his hand unless controller pays 1. I misspoke. That's more like Crystal Shard. Equilibrium, when you play a creature spell, you may pay 1 if you do return target to its owner's hand. Blood Clock, a lot of people playing Blink don't like Blood Clock. I do because it kind of hinders the opponent. They lose 2 life or they have to put stuff in their hand too. Downside is they can also abuse those entered play abilities, and then just the foil Progenitus can be ignored. So there's that stuff, and then Venser, I think it's Shaper Savant is the Planeswalker. Yeah, he might actually still be in here. But yeah, you try the Blink option if you want. Just drop most landfall things, if not all, and it's pretty interchangeable, but I think the landfall is more consistent. Retreat to Emeria, 4 enchantment landfall. You get a 1/1 core ally token, or creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Then we have planes, 2 planes. On the blue, we have Manowar, because Manowar, I love Manowar. It's 3 for a 2/2, comes into play, you return target creature to its owner's hand. Clever Impersonator, copies a non-land permanent on the battlefield, not just creatures, so I like him. Definitely worth the difference in having 3 in a blue for clone and 2 in 2 blue to copy a non-land permanent. You can copy their Planeswalker if you want. Phyrexian Metamorph, 3 and blood mana. I don't know what the proper term is. I can't remember. I just call it blood mana. It can copy any artifact or creature on the battlefield, except it's an artifact in addition. Nevermaker is kind of a little pet card for me. When it's 4 for 2/3 flying, when it leaves play, put target non-land permanent on top of its owner's library with blinking. Hilarious. Guardian of Tazim, 5 for 4/5 flying is okay. Landfall, you can tap something, tap target creature an opponent controls. If it was an island, it's chilled, it's frozen, it freeze, whatever you want to call it. I call it chill. It means it can't untap during its controller's next untap step. Muldrifter, I think we know this one. It's pretty big staple. It's a 2/2 flying that draws you 2 cards. Elder Deep Fiend seemed appropriate with the blink. I thought it'd be hilarious to flicker, over and over again on their turn, especially with Flash. It seemed appropriate. So you bring it in on their turn, and if you could flicker it on your turn, on their turn, your turn doesn't matter, or Crystal Shard, and then you just flash it again. Hilarious. But it comes into play, tap up to 4 target permanents. Treat to Coralheim, 3 for an enchantment landfall. You may tap or untap target creature, or scry 1. I feel this is the best one by far. The black one I like, but it's not in here, so I feel this is the best one by far in the deck. And then we got 2 basic islands. Under red, we have Flame Tongue Kavu, because I love this guy. He only does 4 damage, but 4 for 4/2 is cool, and then does 4 damage to target creatures. Great. Perforos was a hilarious idea with the blink deck. Because I really looked at it like, what can you do with red, blinking red, and I of course thought of, well, there's the burn, that's really all I came up with. So it was like a rune, it was a Bant blink that I just tossed red into to burn him. So I feel the landfall is a little bit more work, we'll say. Perforos, God of the Forge, 4 mana for 6/5 indestructible. Devotion is less than 5. He's not a creature. When a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. I like this a lot from multiplayer games because you're not targeting any players. It's 3 opponents. Well, you all take 3 or 2, whatever, And then a power up that I'm never concerned about. He's in there because he deals 2 to each opponent when a creature comes into play. Akum Hellkite, another landfall. When you have a land come into play, 1 damage to target creature or player. If it was a mountain, 2 damage to target creature or player instead. Conquering Manticore comes into play. You steal a creature and opponent controls till in turn. It gets haste. So, not bad. Inferno Titan comes into play or attacks, deals 3 damage to... You can divide up 3 damage among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures or players, and then he has fire breathing. Bogarten Hellkite comes into play. You have 5 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures or players. Retreat to Valakut, 3 for enchantment, landfall, target gets +2/+2, or target creature can't block this turn. And Warstorm Surge seemed very funny with blinking. When a creature comes into play under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature player. Tried really hard to make a Bant blink deck with red tossed into it, and yeah. It wasn't consistent enough for me. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was that good or fun. I got 2 mountains. On the green, we got Eternal Witness, because it's great. You play Eternal Witness in every green, just like Reclamation Sage. Eternal Witness brings card back from the grave to hand. This comes into play and disenchants something. Azusa, Lost But Seeking, is one of the main pieces of the deck because you can play 2 additional lands on each of your turns. She's not necessary, she's not required, but it's nice. When she's out there, very nice. Acidic Slime comes into play, destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. It's Creeping Mold on a creature. Grux Pack Leader, whenever another creature power 3 or greater comes into play under your control, you may draw a card. Thragtusk, because he's great, 5 for 5/3, comes into play, gain 5 life, leaves play, you get a 3/3 token. Bane of Progress is another card, just like Angel Finality. I think I should have more of them. When it comes into play, destroy all artifacts and enchantments, and he gets +1/+1 counter for each one of those destroyed in this way. If you're not playing a lot of artifacts and enchantments, he's great. I love him. 6 for a 2/2, totally fair. Blinking him, hilarious, but even without, still fair price, I think. Green Warden of Mirasa, just like Eternal Witness, he brings something. When he comes into play, you get something out of your graveyard back in hand. When he dies, you may exile him to do it again. Oran Reef Hydra is I kind of just shoved him in there to continue with the landfall. He's not my first choice, but he is a 6 mana for a 5/5 trample, lifelink, landfall. Gets a +1 counter. If that land is a forest, 2 +1 counters instead. So, kind of fits. Woodland Belroar, 6 for 6/5. When he comes into play, you may search your library for a non-legendary green creature with... Green? Yeah, it does say green. I'm not even reading it. I just remember it from playing it in Standard. But non-legendary green creature with mana cost 3 or less. Put it into play. Shuffle your deck. I like it a lot. There aren't too many targets in here for it, but it's still a fine card, and it was part of the blink piece, but it's still a fine card without blinking. Soul of the Harvest, whenever another non-token creature enters battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. Rampaging Ballast, 6/6 for a 6/6 trample landfall, you get a 4/4 beast token into play. One of the main pieces, because landfall, obviously. Hornet Queen, 7 for a 2/2 flying death touch, you get 4 1/1 flying death touch bees with it. Avenger of Zendikar is another main piece. This is the reason that I decided to make it a landfall deck, because I started test playing with this, and every single time that I would do it, and I had that and Azusa in play, it was stupid. And there's still there's actually 2 ways to go about it, but there's one kind of card that I haven't shown you yet, and then there's another one that's very important to this whole setup too. And if you get these out, it gets ridiculous. I try not to do infinite combos in my deck, and this does not have an infinite, or it does, and I haven't seen it yet. I'm unaware. But a soft lock combo is okay in our books. So if you can abuse something to 5, 6, 7 times the amount you would have, that's okay, So keep in mind, Azusa, Avenger, Zendikar, playing extra lands a turn, landfall triggers. We have Woodfall Primus here, 8 mana for a 6/6 trample. It is a little intense on the triple green cost, but by the time you're playing it, you should have the triple green. If not, you probably won't have to wait too long. Comes into play, destroy target non-creature permanent, and it has Persist, so that's pretty cool. Cultivate, you get 2 lands out of deck, 1 into play, 1 into hand. Kodama's Reach is the same thing. Rites of Flourishing, each player may draw an additional card. At the beginning of each player's draw step, they draw that card, and then each player may play an additional land on each of his or her turns. Retreat to Kazandu, landfall, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, or gain 2 life. Ranger's Path, you go for 2 forest cards, put them on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library. You can take out the shock lands, or you can take out original duels, because those count as well. You could also take out the, what were they calling them? Tango lands, I think? out of Battle for Zendikar. Those also have the forest subtype on them, so you can take those as well. I don't have them in here, but you could take them. I believe there are 5 targets for this, maybe 6 in the deck. And that's perfectly fine for me. Explosive Vegetation, you take 2 basics, put them into play tapped. Nissa's Expedition, same deal, but it has Convoke. And then we have 2 forests. Maybe want to bump that up to 3. Since you are doing a landfall deck, I think I have 39. 40 would be okay. I'd be fine with that if you just toss in a forest. We have Coiling Oracle, green-blue for 1/1. Comes into play, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land, goes into play. Otherwise, into your hand. Nice, because he draws a card. If it's a land, just drops it right in play. Miss Metal Witch, a blinking card. Yes, there are a few blinking pieces left in the deck, but this is a really good one, so, you know, I didn't want to take it out. I thought it was good enough to stay, even if the main focus of the deck is to landfall. 2 white, blue, exile target creature, return to the battlefield on its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step, so pretty nice there. Reflector Mage, I think we've all seen a lot of Reflector Mage because of Bant Company, but 3 mana for a 2/3. When it enters the battlefield, return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. They cannot cast spells with that same name until your next turn. Funny to do it on their commander. Fathom Mage, 4 mana, you get a 1/1 with Evolve. When a +1/+1 counter is placed on Fathom Mage, you may draw a card. You can abuse this with Kazanda Refuge, I think. Retreat to Kazandu. Yeah, +1/+1 counter on target creature. Or you can use Miss Metal Witch to blink it from play, and it loses all those counters, and then you can just start over fresh. Then we have Brago. When he deals combat damage to a player, exile any number of non-land permanents you control, return them all to the battlefield under their owner's control. Just it's Team Blink. That's all it is. You blink as much as you want, and it's always hilarious. Mina and Den Wildborn, 4 mana for 4/4 is fair, but the main focus is getting to play an additional land on each of your turns. Then for red and green, you may return a land you control to its owner's hand. Target creature against trample until end turn. I'm not concerned with that in any way, shape, or form. It's all about that extra land play per turn. Armada Worm, 6 for 5/5 trample. You get a 5/5 trample token with it. Omnath, another big piece of the deck because he's a 7 for 5/5 landfall. You get a 5/5 red and green elemental token. And when Omnath or another elemental dies, lightning bolt a creature or player. Cure the Crashing Wave. Your main focus is to -1 to draw a card and play an additional land this turn. The rest, if you can do it, great, but the main point of her in here is the -1. Sarkhan Unbroken, draw cards, and he makes dragon tokens, and I had him, and I'm like, well, let's put him somewhere, you know, why not? Venser the Sojourner, I think. I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me! Blink card. +2, exile target permanent you own, return it to battlefield under your control at the beginning of your next end step. At the beginning of the next end step. That's pretty nice because you can blink a permanent you own, not necessarily control. You can get something your opponent stole back. Or -1 creatures are unblockable this turn, which is always nice, especially with Brago. Team Unblockable Blink, hilarious. The Emblem, I don't think you'll ever get it, but if you do, okay, awesome. Whenever you cast spell, exile target permanent. They're going to stop you from getting that emblem. That's too good. We go on to the non-basic lands, and this is the focus of the landfall deck. I have in here 4 of each color pair that I could possibly have in here. Now we have a Khan's land, we have a Zek Guildgate, we have the Shock land in here, and it's like this for all 6 color pairs. But the important ones are right here. Is it Boilerworks, Selesnya Sanctuary, Seamet Growth Chamber. These lands that when they come into play, you have to return a land you control to its owner's hand. This is the main focus right here because let's go through here. Let's get who we're gonna see first. Sure, Oran Reef Hydra. Now let's really drive the point home. Rampaging Baloths. We get that first, and Azusa, right? Okay. So we can play 1 land per turn already, and Azusa lets us play 2 more. So we have 3 land drops per turn, right? So with those 2 in play, let's say you just drew Zed Boilerworks. You play it, it comes into play tapped, now you have to return a land you control to its owner's hand. Zed Boilerworks. Back into your hand, you get a 4/4 beast token. Well, now with your second play of Azusa, let's play that. Oh, but let's target it, put it back. Another beast token. Third land drop, put it back. Third beast token. Just like that. All you did was play the same land 3 times and put it back in your hand. How is that not good? You know, you gotta love that. And let's say, you know, you don't want to do it like that. You want to change it up? We'll target the other one. You know, no big deal, whatever. Because it says, when it enters the battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Not another land, so you only need 1. If you want to do 2, sure, why not? But you only need the 1. It works out great, you know. And that's kind of the focus here. That's the main point of what's going on in here. It got a little messy. They're not sorted anymore since I pulled cards out of the middle of the deck. But that's the main reason why I started going and building the deck and turned it into landfall, because I saw that and it looked so interesting. And then I had it wasn't the Rampaging Balos, it was Avenger of Zendikar in play. And what I ended up doing in one turn, I played the Avenger. I think I got 7 or 8 plant tokens. There's 0 1s. No big deal. Just 0 1s, you know. But then with 4 available land drops, I ended up giving them like 10 +1/+1 counters in just a few turns. It was great. And I had the commander in play, Kynaios. I don't know how to say that. Kynaios and Tiro. Well, you keep bouncing the Zet Boiler Works with Azusa, play it 3 times, targeting itself, and then at the end of the turn, you draw a card, and you can play it again with Kynaios and put it back in hand with itself. So that's 4 times you can play a land that turn. That is insane, and that's the whole point of the deck right there. I have all 6 of those possible guild bounce lands in the deck. So we go through here. There are 6 color pairs in here. Each one has the same 4. They've got the bounce. They've got the cons comes in play, tapped, gain a life, the guild gate, and the shock land. Then we have the 4 available tri-lands, because tri-lands are good. Rupture Spire and Transguild Promenade, like usual, comes into play tapped. You also have to pay 1 or sacrifice it, but then after that you can tap it for any color. Same thing on the Promenade. Like I said, in the last 3 videos I put up this week, a lot of people don't like these 2, but I think they're great. Command Tower is obviously the best one. You play this unless you're playing monocolor. Moving into artifacts, we have Solemn Simulacrum. I really like him a lot. He's really best to be abused with Blink, but that doesn't mean he's bad without it. Or playing out of the graveyard, he's still good. Comes into play, you search your library for a basic land, put it in the battlefield tapped. When he dies, you can draw a card. Temple Bell, each player draws a card. You know what? I don't mind helping out the opponent. And that's kind of where the group hug is still kind of a thing on this, because this helps your opponents. Temple Bell does too. I plan on getting a Howling Mine to put in here as well, so that helps out the opponents even more. And while I'm thinking of it, I want to make it very clear. Oracle of Muldai is something that's very important here, because that also gives you an additional land play per turn. I just don't have one, so that's why it's not in here. Make sure you guys put one in there if you have one, because it's going to be another good card for the deck. I just don't have one. Moving on, we have Cloudstone Curio. Whenever a non-artifact permanent comes into play under your control, you may return another permanent you control that shares a permanent type with it to its owner's hand. If you get the Cloudstone Curio, but you didn't get the guild bounce land, take, say, these 2 right here, right? Well, you play this one, comes into play tapped, you gain a life. That triggers Cloudstone Curio, you put this one back in your hand. Play this one, that's your second land per turn. Target this one, play this one, trigger, bounce. You can do it with these 2. So while the guild bounce lands work, you don't have to have one of those. You could use Cloudstone Curio and any 2 lands. Gear per Orrery. Each player may play an additional land on each of his turns. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no cards in hand, that player draws 3 cards. In my tests, I never had less than 5 cards in hand, so this one's mainly just more land drops. Seer Sundial. Landfall, you may pay 2 to draw a card. Spine of Saw is something that will probably get cut because it's part of the Blink part. It costs 7, and when it enters the battlefield, destroy target permanent. If it goes to the graveyard from the battlefield, return it to its owner's hand. The main focus is to blink it so that you can just keep destroying a permanent every turn with it. These are flipped. Oh, those are the lands. Okay. So then, yeah, Spine of Ishsaw is the last the last card of the deck. So you can kind of see where I had it being a blink deck, and it still has a lot of the creatures for the blink deck, but they're still good creatures on their own. You don't have to blink them to make them good. You blink them to abuse them, but they're still good on their own. So doing that, I definitely feel that's an option that you all can go with and try to play with that. But without going group hug, like the commander seems to want to force you into doing, blink or this landfall deck, I feel are your two best options. And that's not just me, that's my friends involved in that too. I'm not just talking out my ass, I'm talking out their asses too. Ha ha ha. Funny joke. But anyway, yeah, I'm not saying you can't do anything else, but that's what we feel are your best options if you don't want to do group hug. It's blink with red, because Bant, I mean, a lot of people already have the Rune blink deck. And yeah, landfall. Landfall is just something that I was kind of like, yeah, whatever, you know. So I'm going to shuffle up a little bit more, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to start doing my test plays. So stick around for that. Alright guys, so I shuffled a little bit more. I just don't want to do... I want to make sure I do a good shuffle, like 12, 15 times. But I'm going to continue to shuffle just to show you guys that I'm not stacking the deck in any way. So, shuffle up one more time, give it a quick cut, and we can check out some test draws here. I hear gold fishing or go fishing frequently. I like to say solitaring. That's me though. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This deck has 39 lands, I believe, so it's not going to be too difficult to get a good opening hand. I think you have to have at least 4 so you can get the commander down. I'm just going to call him Tiro. So you can get Tiro down. I think if you got a hand with 3 lands and something that went to go get more land, you'd be okay. Anything else I wouldn't take. So we have Blossoming Sands. Is that Boilerworks? There's 2... 3, 4 lands. Alright, we are set. Let's do it. So, I would say, let's go ahead and start with the Sands to gain a life. Okay, and we'll play the Boilerworks, bouncing this, just so we can gain extra life out of it. And we don't even need to, because we don't really have a 3-drop. You're not going to play Reclamation Sage super early, so yeah, we just go ahead and do that. Turn 4, we can play our Shock and take 2, but we don't really need to. We can do the forest. And so then here we got our green, white, blue, red. Go ahead, play Kynaios and Tiro, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, end the turn, draw a card. We can play a land, we got a Guildgate, but I think we're going to go ahead and play the Sacred Foundry because we already have a green, white land down. Alright, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next turn. Oh, the Chancery. Looks like we already got those guild lands coming in, but they don't do a lot of good for us at the moment. So I think I think we want to play the Fathom Mage to try to draw those key cards sooner. That feels like a good play. So we go blue, green, 1, 2 for Fathom Mage, and then let's play the Chancery, returning the Forest to our hand. Because, well, we don't have any 2-drops. So you could return this to your hand so you can gain a life. And yes, you could be like, well, you know, it comes with a play tap. Well, no, let's do the Forest, because I was going to say with Kynaios and Tiro we can put it back into play at the end of the turn, but next turn we can put this in and then we can play the Forest so we get both of them untapped rather than do this, leaving the Forest in play, put that down, and then we still have a tapped land next turn. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, we end. Let's go ahead and end the turn. Yeah, I think that's it. Just end the turn. So it goes off. Okay, we can play a land. Bam! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still 7 cards. Don't have to discard. All right. Go into the next turn. So we have 5 lands, but 7 mana coming in. Oh, there's the 3rd bounce land. Go ahead and play this Forest. So we have 8 mana going here. I think, I really wanted to be able to play the Simulacrum and then Thragtusk, or the Pack Leader, so we can evolve and get a card out of the Pack Leader, but yeah, that ain't happening. Oh well. Let's cast Solemn Simulacrum with these 4. Play him. We go through the deck for a land. We don't need white. We're good on white. We're good on green. Red, red, blue, blue. Didn't we draw a land? Yeah, it's blue-green. So let's get a mountain. Because I like to try to keep my mana balanced as well, as much as possible. And actually, while I'm thinking of it, that was an improper play just now. I did something backwards. You would play Solemn Simulacrum, that would trigger Fathom Mage to go off, and then you draw a card, and then you go for a land. So that's on me. I'm just gonna do it out of order. Sorry guys, that's on me. Let me know in the comments if you want. You can berate me if you want. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. We can go ahead and play the Retreat to Valakut because we can hang on to it, or we can play it. I say we just play it for funsies. Okay, and then end turn. That will go. Okay, not a land, but we can play one. So we play the Seamic Growth Chamber, and let's put back the forest because the mountain's kind of a little bit more important in case we have to discard a card. We can throw away forest. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in hand. We're good there. The opponent makes us throw something away, you know. But yeah. Okay. Untap, upkeep, draw. Ooh, Admonition Angel. Now we can start getting somewhere. Unfortunately, we're not getting the any cards that let us play multiple lands per turn aside from Kynaios and Tiro. Let's go ahead and play the forest. And oh, I just realized there's a glare on the land. Sorry about that, guys. They're basic lands anyway. So let's see. Those are singles. These are the dual or the 2 mana lands. I almost want to say here that we do the Seer Sundial, but I think we're not hurting too bad for drawing cards. We have 6 and 5 mana here, so we can do 2 big things. Let's go ahead and do Garruk's Pack Leader. That'll help us draw more cards. We got a green and 4, so we play the Pack Leader. That triggers Fathom Mage to get a counter. So we draw a card off the Fathom Mage. Temple Bell's alright. I didn't think it was going to be anything great. Oh, but we don't have the white mana over here. Oh, I screwed it all up. I screwed it all up. No. No. Hey, look at that. All the white mana. Pay attention to your colors, people. Don't be me. Okay, so we go white, 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 1, 2, 3. So there's 6. Admonition Angel that triggers Fathom Mage, so we get to draw a Fathom Mage. And Garruk's Pack Leader. Go down his reach. Alright. End the turn. Whoop, I was going to go on tap. End the turn. We get the card there. We can play a land this turn. We did not get any more lands, but we did draw the card that lets us go and play an additional land every turn, which is good. So let's get rid of Kodama's... Well, no, not Kodama's Reach. We're getting the landfall going here. Let's do Temple Bell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more. I want to say that Elder Deep Fiend would only tap things, while Reclamation Sage and Woodfall Primus would destroy. Clone, landfall to draw cards. I do like Seer Sundial, but I don't think it's super relevant at this point. Not while we've got Fathom Mage going, and we're gonna go ahead and start dropping some lands a lot faster than 1 per turn, or in this case 0. All right. So next turn we untap, upkeep, draw. Is that Guildgate? I would say that the very first thing we want to make sure we do is play the Girapur Orrery. So we'll go ahead, play the Orrery. Now we can play 2 lands this turn. Okay. So here's one land. That's our first land for the turn. That triggers Retreat to Valakut. We can make something. to make it so that something can't block, but with Admonition Angel down, I think flying would be okay. So we can go ahead and +2/+0, and then trigger the landfall on her to get rid of a flying blocker if they had one. So it's an 8/6, and we got rid of their blocker. Go ahead and we can do, let's, how do we want to do it? Oh, they're all blue. We can't be real good about it. Yeah, okay, green and 2. Kodama's Reach. We get 2 basics into our hand. I think at this point it doesn't matter. Let's just take the first 2 we see. There's a mountain, there's a forest. Okay, 1 comes into play, so we trigger Valakut again, give it +2/+0, and the angel can get rid of something else. Hopefully they don't have anything in their land that screws up that plan. Play another land. That's our second land for the turn. +2/+0. Get rid of another possible blocker if they happen to have one. Swing for 12. It gets stupid ridiculous, you know. And then we can copy it, or with other things that it gets more ridiculous, like well, these 2, not super ridiculous. Not like if we had Rampaging Baloths in play. That's when it gets absurd. I'm looking... Ooh. Azusa was our next card. I'm looking forward to playing Akum Hellkite with this idea, because, yes, it's one thing to get the landfall triggers and then they get like a +1 counter or whatever. But Akum Hellkite just straight up deals damage. And so if you choose to do play all your lands on the second main phase, you can attack with the Akum Hellkite, and if they block, you can just finish off their creatures, or you can get rid of small creatures that might be in the way and then swing with it to, you know, make it easier and a better chance that it lives, less blockers. It just sounds so much fun to me. I really enjoy what this deck has become, and it's funny because 24 hours ago when I was looking at it, I was like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I text my friends, I'm like, guys, I gotta figure out something about this quick. This video's gotta go up tomorrow. and one of them says, yeah, blank, you know, just do your rune deck but add red, and the other one says, I don't know, landfall. You got his only reason for saying landfall was, I believe, because of the bounce lands and get the 2 mana out of them. And I'm like, sold. Can't keep that. That's a 1-lander. 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, there we go. We got 4 lands. That's all I ask for when I go and play a deck like this. Especially this one, because you get if you can get 4 mana going there, I'm just gonna lazy shuffle the top half of the deck. You get the 4 mana, you get this guy out quick, that helps the draws. Oh, we got a Zed Boilerworks back. Okay, let's go ahead and get a life. Boilerworks, return that to hand. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright. Oh, we got a guild gate. Ooh. Alright, play that. Unfortunately, your first 3 turns are almost always boring. So now we can wait another turn to play Kynaios and Tiro, or we can pay 2 life. If we wait a turn, we can play one of the tap lands, and we can play Reflector Mage. We can play Retreat to Valakut. Neither of those really feels like the best play, so I'll just say we take the 2 life, and we get white, blue, red, green, and there we go. In the turn, we get to draw a card. A Growth Chamber, that's good. Let's go ahead and bam, Guildgate. Alright. Draw. Another bounce land. Okay, sure, why not? Play Thornwood Falls? Yeah, I'm okay with that. Play the Thornwood Falls. We have 5 mana. Let's go ahead and do Muldrifter, so we can draw 2 cards. Alright, that's not bad. I like the retreat. That's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We gotta go. Oh, we end the turn. This will go off. So we draw, and we can play an extra land this turn. Play that. We bounce something. Let's just do Thornwood Falls. Then we end the turn. We have to discard 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Down to 7. Let's get rid of that. And boo! Fathom Mage. No, let's get rid of Retreat to Kazandu. Alright. Untap. Upkeep. Darrow. Alright. So we're not playing a lot of extra lands per turn, but we do have Kynaios and Tiro out, so it could be worse. I would say we go green, green, 1, 2, 3, 4 to play Rampaging Baloths. I don't know if I keep saying Baloths and Baloths in the same video. I don't know which one's right. I think it's Baloths. Okay, so we play that. We use our 1 land for the turn to play Azorius Chancery, and then we target itself to put it back. Watch, there's going to be some weird rule that you can't do that. I'm pretty sure you can. I'm like 95% sure you can do that. Let's say you can't. Fine, whatever. That Boilerworks back to hand. It works out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. End the turn, or you can swing a Muldrifter, but end the turn. We get to draw here, and now we can play a land. Ooh. Yeah, let's go ahead and do Jungle Shrine, since, you know, that results in a land actually coming in and staying in play. Alright, 2 beasts. Alright, next turn, what do we got going on here? We can, for our land, we can go ahead and play the Boilerworks. But I want to say that what we should do, before we do any lands, let's go ahead and play... Yeah, we got red right here in the Jungle Shrine. So let's go ahead and play the Retreat to Valakut. Cramped here. Retreat to Valakut. And then we have 2 beasts that aren't affected by Summoning Sickness. Let's go ahead and play the Boilerworks. Ooh, actually, you know what? Here, let's do it like this. Yeah, there we go. And then let's play the Boilerworks. So there's a landfall trigger, so we get another beast, and we make it so that something can't block. Okay. Then what do we want to do? Unfortunately, with Kynaios and Tiro, we can't get 2 triggers off that before combat, but that's not super upsetting. I'm okay with that. I'm not really annoyed. I do want to point out that this is a fine example of what I was talking about. I frequently have a full hand with this deck in my test plays. I think the whole time I've been filming this, like, the smallest my hand got was 5 cards, I think, maybe 4. You know, it's like, it's very hard to have an empty hand with this deck. But anyway, something can't block. We can swing with our 2 beasts and the Baloths if we want, and Muldrifter if we want. End the turn. I untapped the Baloths prematurely, I'm aware. I'm not paying attention. End the turn. Kynaios and Tiro go off. Oh, we can do Temple Garden. Bam. Now we have 2 more. Alright, yeah. We got 4 beasts. Okay. Draw. There's a mountain. We got a basic. Got a basic, y'all. Bam, basic. Alright, now we have another beast. Let's go ahead and do that. Something can't block. You see, it just keeps going. You know, and then we can get rid of another. We can get rid of another blocker, or we can clone. We can copy Retreat to Valakut. Oh no, wait, this only does artifact or creature. I'm thinking of the other one. The other one that just copies a permanent. Okay, so we can copy Rampaging Baloths and then play them out and get 2 beasts. You know, it just keeps going. And obviously with a real game, there'd be removal. There's opposition. People playing cards are doing things trying to stop you, or they're trying to make it so that you're dying. You know, but this deck right now, I am super happy with. And I hope you guys are too, because this one was a little tough for me. I did have somebody comment that, you know, I like Group Hug, and I hope you build that. And I was ready to build a Group Hug deck, but because this came to be, I apologize to you, it's not a Group Hug. There are things that help the opponent, and I am suggesting things that will help, like Font of Mythos. Everybody will draw 2 cards. I think it's Kami of the Crescent Moon, or... It's 2 blue for a 1/3 with Howling Mine on it. That makes everybody draw. Put Howling Mine in yours if you want. That's more draw for everybody. It still kind of resembles a Group Hug deck, but Blink did not work out super well for me. I'm not saying it's bad. It just didn't. I didn't feel good about it. Maybe I was just doing it wrong. But if you guys like Blink, go ahead and try that. I'm super happy with having this be a landfall deck. It's a lot of fun for me, actually. So yeah, that's it for this one. Kynaios and Tiro. I probably butchered that name all throughout the whole video, but whatever, I don't know. They don't give us official ways of saying these things with the spoiler, And actually, if they did, I don't think I'd ever look at it. I think I'd just be like, yeah, new card, and then, well, build a deck like I have been. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. This is the 4th of the 5 decks. I'm just doing it with the 4-color legendary creatures. I'm not going to do it with the ones with partner because they're like way too many options. That's going to be like a video a day for an entire month, and that would be rough. I would be burnt on ideas. But yeah, so there's this. Tomorrow, I already wrote up the proxy for it. Tomorrow is the 5th video of the week, and it is iirix. I am super excited about iirix. Let's just go ahead and put that back in there, actually. I am super excited about iirix. He might be my favorite of the 5. It just looks so ridiculous. Let's give you a sneak peek for anybody who hasn't already seen a spoiler of it. iirix, I didn't write the full name. I haven't on any of them. It costs blue, black, red, green for a 5/4 ogre wizard. Trample. Whenever iirix deals combat damage to a player as you cast spells from your hand this turn, they gain Cascade. That's ridiculous. Cascade is so awesome. I feel like Wizards knows that Cascade is so good, and that's why they give us a few of them here and there to make us happy, but for the most part, they try to avoid giving us Cascade cards. For those of you who do not know what Cascade is, I'll give you a little demonstration. Let's say I cast Acidic Slime with Cascade. So the next card, the next permanent, no, it's any card, I believe. Look at me giving an example of Cascade, and I'm not even sure how it works. Hang on, I got Maelstrom Wanderer right here. This is how excited I am for iirix. The official ruling is, when you cast a spell, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card that costs less. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. Put the exile cards on the bottom in a random order. Bottom of what? Huh, I never noticed that on the Maelstrom Wanderer. That's kind of weird. Maybe I'm just reading it wrong and being dumb. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. Put the exile cards on the bottom in a random order. Then do it again. Huh. Well, it must mean the deck. That's weird. I never noticed that before. But anyway, so cast Acidic Slime. Now I do this until I get a non-land card that costs less. Now I can play Mana Work. Bam, for free. Just like that. It's awesome. Let's do it again, just for fun. That's a land. That's a land. Here, we're using this one. There, Conquering Manticore. So 6, do land, land. There, we get Retreat to Emeria in play for free. Bam! Super excited about this because Cascade is awesome. It's going to be, I believe it's going to be a combat-heavy deck, but don't quote me because I'm not sure yet. I haven't started building it yet. It's obviously just going to be Cascade and try to abuse Enter's play abilities. So, if that's something that you're excited to see, subscribe to the channel so you get the notification when I put up that video tomorrow. If you liked this one, what I plan on doing with all these decks that I've made this week, all 5 of them, I plan on going, and in about a month, 3 to 4 weeks, I'm going to go through and I'm going to have built all of these with the proper cards, and I'm going to have tested them. I'm going to have learned what's good, what's bad, what works, and what doesn't, and I'm going to share that with you guys. And so you can kind of, this is what I have at the moment. Later on, in about a month, you'll be able to see all of the final product, which I feel is optimized, and it's gone through tests and all sorts of things. Run it by some people and see what they think. So if that's something you want to see the follow-up videos, there's another reason to subscribe to the channel. And, you know, check out some other videos I've done. I do Let's Plays on stuff, you know, just because I love games, you know. So if that's something you want to see, check those out too. You know, leave a like on the video, leave a comment, let me know if you think I missed something, or maybe a reason why Blink would be better than the landfall setup that I built here. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow for the iirix deck.